you go ahead and call the meeting to order, please, and call roll?
Browning,
Here.
Campbell, here. Guerrero,
Here.
Hilbert, Leeper, Stahl, Wood.
Here.
Mr. Meadows, would you lead us in the pledge, please? Instead of the flag.
Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, recognition of visitors, we appear to have none. So shall we do a motion to enter closed session for the reasons stated on the agenda? Motion made by Jessica Browning, is there a second?
Second.
Matt Wood, call roll.
Browning,
Here. Yes.
Campbell, yes. Guerrero,
Yes.
Hilbert, Leeper, Stahl, and Wood.
I need a motion to accept the closed session minutes as read in closed session.
So moved.
Motion made by Matt Wood, is there a second?
Second.
Jessica Browning, call roll please.
Guerrero,
Yes?
Wood,
Yes.
Browning,
Yes.
Campbell, yes.
I need a motion to accept the resignation of Jordan Colley as middle school assistant boys basketball coach effective immediately.
So moved.
Motion made by Matt Wood, is there a second?
Yes.
Campbell, call roll please.
Wood,
Yep.
Browning,
Yes.
Campbell, yes. Guerrero,
Yes. Motion to accept the resignation of Nicole Christensen as middle school and high school assistant scholastic bowl coach effective immediately.
so moved.
Motion made by Lori Campbell, is there a second?
Second.
Browning, call roll please.
Browning,
Yes.
Campbell, yes. Guerrero,
Yes.
Wood.
Yes.
Motion to accept the resignation of Raven Moore as high school secretary effective on July 25th, 2022.
So moved.
Motion made by Matt Wood, is there a second?
Second.
Call roll please.
Campbell, yes. Guerrero,
Yes.
Wood,
Yes.
Browning.
Yes. Motion to accept the resignation of Sarah Ward as an at-will benefited bus driver effective immediately.
So moved.
Motion made by Matt Wood, is there a second?
Second.
Lori Campbell, call roll please.
Guerrero,
Yes.
Wood,
Yes.
Browning.
Yes.
Campbell, yes.
Okay, so we go on to the principal contracts. Do you want to have a discussion about that, or can I go directly into the appointments?
Go right into it.
Okay, so I need a motion to enter into a successor contract with Jonathan Field as a principal for the Sangamon Valley School District through 2024-2025 school year.
So moved.
Motion made by Lori Campbell, I'll second. Call roll please.
Wood,
Yes.
Browning.
Yes.
Campbell, yes. Guerrero.
Yes. Motion to enter into a successor contract with Christina Sommer as a principal for the Sangamon Valley School District through the 2024-2025 school year.
So moved.
Motion made by Matt Wood, is there a second? Second. Browning, call roll please.
Browning,
Yes.
Campbell, yes. Guerrero,
Yes.
Wood.
Yes.
Motion to enter into a successor contract with Bethany Walbaum as a principal for the Sangamon Valley School District through the 2024-2025 school year.
So moved.
Motion made by Lori Campbell, is there a second?
Second.
Matt Wood, call roll please.
Campbell, yes. Guerrero,
Yes.
Wood,
Yes.
Browning.
Yes. Motion to employ Jennifer Maurer as the high school football cheerleading coach for the 2022-2023 school year.
So moved.
Motion made by Matt Wood, I'll second. Call roll please.
Guerrero,
Yes.
Wood,
Yes.
Browning.
Yes.
Campbell, yes.
Motion to employ Chris Hiley as a paid high school assistant football coach for the 2022-2023 school year.
So moved.
Motion made by Lori Campbell, is there a second?
I'll second.
Browning, call roll please.
Wood,
Yes.
Browning.
Yes.
Campbell. Yes. Sorry, Guerrero.
Yes. Motion to employ Matt Wood as a volunteer high school assistant football coach for the 2022-2023 school year.
So moved.
Motion made by Lori Campbell, I'll second. Call roll please.
Browning,
Yes.
Campbell, yes. Guerrero,
Yes.
Wood.
Yes.
Motion to employ Nick Veely as the middle school head boys basketball coach for the 2022-2023 school school year.
So moved.
Motion made by Matt Wood, is there a second?
Second.
Browning, call roll please.
Campbell, yes. Guerrero.
Yes.
Wood.
Yes.
Browning.
Yes. Motion to approve, oh, nope. You all
Nope.
received your consent agenda. Anyone have any questions before we move on? Okay, so motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
So moved.
Motion made by Matt Wood, is there a second?
Second.
Call roll please.
Guerrero.
Yes?
Wood.
Yes.
Browning.
Yes.
Campbell, yes.
Okay, superintendent's
Who
report.
seconded
Browning.
First up, we have the press policy update, number 109. I sent this document to you, seems like forever ago. There are 3 different sections. There's a 5-year review section, a draft update, and then the final section is a draft update that was rewritten. And we'll start off with the 5-year review. This includes policy 370, succession of authority, 570, religious holidays, 5110, recognition for service, 5140, solicitations by or from staff, 5240, suspension, 670, teaching about religions, 6140, education of homeless children, and 6330, achievement and awards. Again, all of these are updates. No real changes to any of these policies, just a 5-year review. And when we get to that section of new business, if there aren't any questions, I would recommend at that time that you approve those.
I just have a quick question, and it always used to bug me back in the day. We did, when you said of achievement and awards, it used to be a high school achievement award ceremony. Some teachers participated and some did not. Do they all now?
I can't say that they all do. I think,
I guess I don't necessarily, I don't know that they need to be there, but it was very irritating to me, I guess, back in the day that my kids were in school that, you know, if somebody was there teaching English and they were giving awards and the other, say, English teacher was not, and so.
I think some of the individual classroom awards, like I remember Coach Lee gave an award for perfect attendance. Some people do that, some people do not. I think they had the freedom to
I think it was mostly just like you got for the top grade point average, you know, that kind of thing. And if I just feel like if you're doing it in one, then you don't have to be there to present it. Maybe somebody else will present your award, but all classes should be acknowledged. Yeah.
I can check with Mr. Field and we can absolutely make that recommendation, but again, I don't know if we could force someone to make an award and be there to give it. Would it be nice?
I was gonna say, I don't think they have to be there even, but it's because he's there and he's reading off. So I just,
I'll talk to Mr. Field about it.
yeah, just something that's always bugged me, and I think I asked about it years ago, and then I just let it drop, and it just seems unfair. I'm done.
Okay. Next would be the draft update. And the first one that we need to talk about that has a question that needs to be answered would be public participation at Board of Education meetings. I spoke to Barney about this and he really did not have a recommendation in one way or the other. He said it's entirely up to the board.
How do we read now that if there's a bunch of people, I think we have that you're supposed to pick a spokesman if you're all here to say the same thing. And then there's a time limit we have.
For any one particular subject. I can't remember that. I would have to pull the policy book. I don't have that in front of me.
Okay, what is it asking us to decide
It's
there?
deciding whether we want to have one or not.
Oh.
They're
Say
recommending
yes.
that we do not. And I know that we had a parent come and talk about, what was it? Homeschool children being allowed to participate in our extracurriculars, and that went on and on and on.
Yes, because I think there's also something stated that if it's already been decided on the board, you're not gonna come back next month and talk about it again. Like if we've already taken action on it, I think there's also something in the thing. I'm all for keeping
should get to speak.
Yes, right. They should get to speak, say their bid. It can be, held over to the next month to actually make a decision on it and have some discussion, but I just don't see a point in not having any. Because then what are we gonna do, just sit up here for hours upon end? I don't know. Why did they say not to have it?
There was
It's restrictive.
a court case that, the board made a decision upon, and they came back, and it was overturned because, they didn't feel like the person had ample time, to make their case or address the board. That is the only problem I think that we would possibly run into. That again, I feel like we've been through some rough meetings over the course of the last few years, and it hasn't really been an issue.
I guess we can take the time limit out, but also leave the verbiage in that, if you have 20 people coming in to tell us the exact same thing and they all can talk for whatever amount of time, that can get, you need to have your representative that's gonna come speak your piece on that one subject.
Do we want to table this one particular policy, remove it, and then talk about it in the next meeting when everybody's here?
Yes, that sounds good.
Alright, so I'm gonna remove policy 230
Okay.
from the
Just-
motion.
Strike it on here.
It just put circle it table till August meeting.
And that will, we can print the policy out, see exactly what our
What the verbiage is, yep.
verbiage says, and then we can decide on how long we want. I'm not saying that we should not have a time limit either. We just have to find what's comfortable,
Right.
whether that's
Yeah, I
15
don't wanna
minutes, 30 minutes, or.
Right. I don't wanna shorten or cut anyone off, but like I said, when you get into that instance when they are all here to say the exact, and maybe there's two sides of a story, but you can have a rep from one side and one from the other representing.
Bless you. It could, something like that could take longer. If there's good discussion about it, I can't see saying, oh, 30 minutes are up, we need to move on. Especially when I said there's good discussion back and forth between the board and that person. So let's look at that. in
Okay.
Is
August.
there a way we could word it that
It's
if.
repetitive.
Yeah, productive discussion or something like that.
Next up is resource conservation. Legal references are updated, no other changes. I would recommend that we approve that. Next is court duty, and there are two questions that need to be addressed. They seem very similar. I'm not sure what the difference in those are, but currently policy allows certified staff members to be excused from court duty and get pay. We had a non-certified person that did that this summer already once, and we gave that person full pay. The only thing that we ask is if they receive payment for doing that then they reimburse that back to the district. And that's what I would recommend, is that we treat all of our employees when it comes to civil service the same.
Okay.
So both of those questions would be that we do indeed want to have the policy for
You only get
non-certified.
like $15 a day. Kylie just had to serve.
Crazy.
It's mileage and $15 or
Any more discussion on court duty?
Nope.
Teaching about controversial issues, legal references are updated, no other changes are recommended. So we go ahead and approve that.
Okay.
Homework, legal references are updated, optional statement about missed homework can be added. Students absent for valid cause may make up missed work. I think our handbooks address that at all levels, and I think it covers it quite well. So I would say that we go ahead and approve that one as well. Students, 715 is students and family privacy rights, legal references are updated along with some minor changes. We are very cautious when it comes to disclosing student information. To my knowledge anyway, the district has never sold, rented, leased, or traded student information. We provide student information to the military and when requested to do so by the legal guardian or if the student is indeed an adult, they have the right to share whatever they like with employers, colleges, so on. I would recommend we go ahead and approve that. And then the last one under this 7270, administering medicines to students. Legal references, again, were updated. The board must adopt a policy that addresses prevention of anaphylaxis in a district response to medical emergencies resulting from anaphylaxis, which is basically your body goes into shock and shuts down.
And I had asked you, because I saw where you could get that free, but you do have to have a doctor's prescription.
And that's been our finding somebody to do that. When we get to the draft update rewrite, which is next, what I would say and what I will ask our school nurse to do when she returns is to try to search around and find somebody that will write us a script and have some what's the term I'm looking for?
Just an open prescription,
Right.
non-specific.
It's
to
not
child.
specific to a particular student, but just have some.
I would almost start with Macon County Health Board and Sangamon County Health Board. They each have to have physicians that sit on them, and maybe they could either do it or recommend someone who would be willing to.
That's the direction we will go.
You never know when someone's gonna have, that's the scary part, and if they're not. they don't have anything
Undesignated.
outside- Undesignated,
That's the word I'm looking
yes. I couldn't help it either.
And then as I mentioned, the last 285 is the anaphylaxis prevention response and management program. One question needs to be asked, again, as the board adopted a policy on the district supply of undesignated epinephrine. Right now, we do not have it, so my recommendation at this point would be no. If we can eventually get to a point where we can get that, then what I would recommend is that we bring this policy back to a board meeting.
Can we note that too, because this has to be done before like the September meeting, right?
Yes.
Okay. So that
The
we can.
changes, I could go in and say no now, and then we can update it in due time.
Okay.
And then I could send the changes on. They might charge us a little bit of a fee for a change after that September deadline, but if we could get it done
Yeah.
prior
Do
to
children with
that.
known allergies bring their own? We just have them
You have to
in
have,
in case of emergency?
like Knox
on
has
top
his
of-
in a book bag at all times. with
Right.
him, Yeah.
So he has one with him, but in case a child, unknown allergy or something, we have one.
That's what they say you should have them on site for, and they do provide them free, but you have to have a doctor's prescription for it. So you have to go that route to get, and then get one in each school, or a couple in each school building would be nice. And they're only good for, I think, a year. They expire every year, so that may be something she can ask too, if they're willing not only to get us that, but to do refills
Yeah.
while they're at it, so she doesn't have to go through it again.
As I mentioned, in my synopsis to you, all of our staff go through the Global Compliance Network. It's online training. This is one of the sections of that training. And then our Paramark staff are all trained on prevention and exposure to food allergies as well. So I think we cover it very well. I think we have the training in place. We just have to come up with the undesignated epinephrine.
Yep,
And that was it. That really didn't take,
I love it.
that wasn't as painful as I thought.
So then we can go back and do a motion to approve the 5-year review of board policies. Was 3 570, 570, 5110, 5140, 5240, 670, 6140, and 6330.
So moved.
Motion made by Lori Campbell.
We probably should not move on to that yet because this was only one tiny little section of the superintendent's report.
Oh, sorry.
Let me finish the superintendent's report, then we can go to new business and.
Okay, I was ready to roll.
You were.
We were on a roll.
Good time to go home yet?
Making sure that I don't overlook something. I think that was all your policy
Or
stuff. Next up, the return to school plan. I've provided you a resolution that we will more than likely approve in August. And that was the first document. And again, Gwen Mundorf provided us with these documents. A return to school plan, which was included in there as well, and then the return to school flow chart. What I would recommend that we do, if you have any questions at this time, we can certainly address those, or if you have anything that we think we need to add to that. But what I would like to do is sit down with the administrators and the school nurse, go through all of this and make sure that, first of all, this is pretty in line to what we were doing at the end of the school year. Anyway.
And making sure, I just think the consistency that each and every school is doing the same exact thing.
Yeah.
So we don't have anyone complaining that it was different in a different building or whatever. And just the fact to stress again that it's still out there. We're not done, obviously.
And this is not an option.
No, sadly.
We have to have a plan in place for the school year. So, I did not add that to any motion or anything. That will appear
In August.
in August. We'll more than likely approve the policy after the first half day of school, where we can get that out publicly, hopefully. Maybe we don't have any problems. I suspect that we may not see any mandates or anything until after the November 8th. After that,
Couldn't tell you.
it's hard to say what's going on.
I barely know what date today.
Okay, so I talked about the return to school plan a little bit. High school fire alarm system is, we just had a host of issues. Like I mentioned in my superintendent report, it's been very difficult to find somebody to work on it and finish it, complete it. And I've made quite a few trips over to the high school over the course of the last month or so to silence the alarm when it goes off. So Tech Electronics has agreed to come in. They've come in and looked at it for $1,477.65 as a bargain. I'm not saying that at some point we may have to look at a complete upgrade of the system here. And the thing is, it's been updated. The actual panel's been updated, but you're still dealing with pole stations that some of them are probably original, not 1924 original, but are very old.
Was the main hub updated with the NG work?
No, that was updated prior to the NG work. And then we did the middle school work, I believe this summer while NG was here. It wasn't associated with NG, but so all of the alarm systems have been updated. We need to get to the pole stations, the heat sensors and that sort of thing that are gonna have to be updated in this building. So we'll get it going, and then we'll see what we need to do moving forward. I'll come to you with that plan. But when we get out of into new business, I would recommend that you approve the bid from Tech Electronics to fix that. Next up, the non-certified handbook update. We did this a couple summers ago. Gwen and Mundorf went through the handbook, updated it all. The only addition that we have to do now is the Juneteenth day If it is scheduled as a school holiday, if it falls within the week, then it will be a day off for our summer employees, which would be my office and the custodians and maintenance schools. It would be paid holiday for them.
Okay. They get that this year?
That fell on Sunday,
Oh, it was a Sunday.
so they did not. But
So-
moving forward.
It's only stipulated that if it's actually that day of the week, because normally if the holiday falls on a Sunday, you get Monday, if it falls on a Saturday, you get Friday. But it's only stipulated if it's a day of the week.
Yes.
A Monday, Friday. Okay.
If scheduled as a school holiday.
Okay.
So again, when we get to that portion of the new business, I would recommend that you approve that. Next up is the restraint timeout, isolated timeout reduction plan. This is a requirement from the State Board of Education. It's new this year. I can tell you with a lot of certainty that we don't restrain, put people in isolated timeout unless it's a situation where they're a risk to another student or themselves. And I can also say with a lot of certainty that this hasn't happened with a student probably above 5th grade that I'm aware of. No, it's typically with the rules, and we have to have a plan to reduce those instances. I'm really not sure how we can control what a little kid does, but it does say within the plan if they're at risk of injuring themselves or another student, then we have the right to restrain. And all the teachers go through that training. I forgot what it's called.
Every year.
What is it?
CPI.
I know they go into we do a classroom portion, and they go into the gym, and they do the hands-on part of it. I think Mr. Quimby worked me over 1 year. Pretty good on that, but I'm on a complete blank on the training for it. But anyway, we do go through that particular training on how to restrain if necessary. But this plan we'll have to follow. We have people in place. I think that was part of it too, was that they wanted a list of staff members that would go in and maybe have a little bit of additional training and take care of these sort of instances. But again, they're far and few, and I would recommend that you approve that when we get to that point of business. And then the last item that I gave you a new fund balance sheet. The auditors have been here the last couple of days. Even though ISB approved $584,000 to go into working cash to help offset the money that came out of working cash to do our HVAC upgrades, the auditors do not like, really they say there's no means to deposit ESSER funds into working cash. So what they have recommended to do is that we take that money that was currently in working cash that I had put in there and actually put it into the capital fund, which is the 1% sales tax, and where we would pull money out of to do renovations to the building, whether it be a roof, a parking lot, whatever. That's more than likely where the money would come out of anyway. So we still have a little over 1.8 million in working cash, which is a nice rainy day fund. If we ever get to a point where salaries are outpacing our EAV and our taxes, then we may have to eventually start dipping into that. But you can see from this, our ed fund has a current balance of just over $1.2 million. Operation maintenance right at $500,000. Debt service is, we always keep that low. It is where we pay our bonds out of. So we levy minimal amount, or we actually levy the amount that we need to use to pay off the bonds for that particular year. So that balance really doesn't ever change a whole lot. That's right at $52,000. Transportation is up to $769,000. IMRF is at $379,000. With the change, working cash, or ESSER funds from working cash to capital, it's now sitting at $980,000. Like I said before, working cash is at $1.8 million, toward at $235,000, and fire safety at $223,000. For a total reserve funds, $6,294,596. And those are as strong and solid as they've ever been. Stephanie asked about the possibility of maybe paying off the bonds early at the current interest rates. I would recommend that we hold on to what we have, and we never know when the roof might fail and we would have to replace that. I hate to pay off a bond that we got for around 3% and then have to go and ask for more money and sell bonds at 5% or whatever the way it currently is. So I would recommend that we hold on to that and see what happens.
Okay. Makes sense.
That's all I have. That's what I'm
Okay. So then we can jump into our motions, and first one is to approve the 5-year review of board policies 370, 570, 5110, 5140, 5240, 670, 6140, and 6330.
So moved.
Motion made by Lori Campbell, is there a second?
Second.
Gonna go Matt Wood, call roll please.
Wood.
Yes.
Browning. Yes. Campbell, yes. Guerrero.
Yes. Motion to, well, first we're going to table board policy 2230 until the next meeting for some discussion. And then a motion to approve the draft update of board policies 470, 580, 680, 6290, 715, and 7270.
So moved.
Motion made by Matt Wood, is there a second?
Second.
Call roll please.
Browning. Yes. Campbell, yes. Guerrero.
Yes.
Wood.
Yes.
Motion to approve the draft update of rewritten policy 7285.
So moved.
Motion made by Matt Wood, is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Browning, call roll please.
Campbell, yes. Guerrero.
Yes.
Wood.
Yes.
Browning. Yes.
Motion to approve the non-certified handbook update as presented.
So moved.
Motion made by Lori Campbell, is there a second?
Second.
Matt Wood, call roll please.
Guerrero.
Yes.
Wood.
Yes.
Browning. Yes. Campbell, yes.
Motion to approve the restraint timeout and isolated timeout reduction plan as presented.
So moved.
Motion made by Matt Wood, I'll second. Call roll please.
Wood.
Yes.
Browning. Yes. Campbell, yes. Guerrero.
Yes.
We did not discuss the next item, but we have sort of in the past. Biannually, we have to decide whether we want to keep the closed session minutes closed to the public. And we have decided in the past, based on the nature of discussions in closed session, that we should keep those closed to the public. That's what I'm recommending, and that's the way the motion is.
Okay. So we have a motion to keep the closed session minutes private, closed.
So moved.
Motion made by Matt Wood. Is there a second? That was Lori Campbell. Call roll please.
Browning. Yes. Campbell, yes. Guerrero.
Yes.
Wood.
Yes.
Wood, Campbell, second. And then new business.
That's me, I need to go over this, so I didn't talk about it in the superintendent's report. We've been having issues with the intercom system in the primary building. What I was looking for was something that would be as close to what we currently have, kind of a plug-and-play type situation. We have found that with Thompson Electronics. They're the ones that installed the initial one. And what they will do, they'll come in and install the new one for the total amount of $67.92.95. If something happens and there's a change of work, that they need to do, if they have to replace a speaker or do some additional running of wire for whatever reason, they will present that to me. And for the sake of time, I'll probably let you guys know what's going on and go ahead and approve that work change.
How long did the one last that's in there now? A while.
I would say that it was, I know that it was pre-consolidation, but I can't say how much before that. Because it's very similar to the one here at the high school that was here when I came in. So
this is strictly,
it's strictly intercom, it's two-way communications between the secretary and the classrooms.
just replacing what we have to get by, and
Yes.
then at a different date, look into phone system.
Yeah, I would really like to look into the internet infrastructure in that building and use it as kind of like a model for communications moving forward.
All right, so we want to go ahead and motion that, or you want to go on with all the new business?
No, I would say go ahead and let's do that one.
Okay, so motion to approve the bid from Thompson Electronics Company for the installation of an intercom system at the primary building for the amount of $6,792.95.
So moved.
Motion made by Lori Campbell, is there a second?
Second.
Matt Wood, call roll please.
Campbell, yes. Guerrero,
Yes.
Wood,
Yes.
Browning.
Yes.
We decided this summer as we were going that we would go ahead and update the intermediate music room and add carpet. The bid for that for Flooring America was $5,664.35. While we were doing that, we also decided that we were going to update lighting and do some paint in there and update the ceiling tiles. This bid is specifically for the carpet. I'll bring the total amount of all of that stuff to you, what it came to the October or the August board meeting. Right now, we're approving the carpet installation, but it was a pretty large purchase.
Okay, so motion to approve the bid from Flooring America for carpet installation in the intermediate music room for the amount of $5,664.35.
So moved.
Motion made by Joseph Browning, is there a second?
Second?
Matt Wood, call roll please.
Guerrero,
Yes.
Wood,
Yes.
Browning.
Yes.
Campbell, yes.
We've discussed the high school fire alarm. I will go ahead with that motion.
Okay, motion to approve the bid from Tech Electronics to repair the high school fire alarm system for the amount of $1,477.65.
So moved.
Motion made by Lori Campbell, I'll second, call roll please.
Wood,
Yes.
Browning.
Yes.
Campbell, yes. Guerrero,
Yes.
I sent you information on the possible trade and purchase of a new mower from AHW. As I mentioned, we currently have 3 lawn mowers. 2 people, again, do the lion's share of the mowing. And I would recommend that we trade our oldest John Deere and one of our newer ones. We bought 2 in 2015. We're gonna trade the one with the higher hours. They're going to give us $9,300 for trade on the 2015. We also had 2009, but they're giving us $3,900. As you can see, the price for these units have gone up significantly since we bought 2 of them for $32,000 in 2015. One of them now is just shy of $26,000. So I would recommend that we go ahead and do the trade and then the purchase for an amount not to exceed $12,749.
Oh, because there's no tax. Okay. So I need a motion to trade and purchase a new mower for AHW for an amount not to exceed $12,749.
So moved.
What's first, is there a second?
Second.
Lori Campbell, call roll please.
Browning.
Yes.
Campbell, yes. Guerrero,
Yes.
Wood,
Yes. Next, the Sentinel subscription for the 2022-2023 2023 school year is at $19 per subscription. They throw in a few free ones for the offices. This cost has not gone up for the last few years anyway. I would recommend that you renew the subscription. Quite a bit of school stuff in there every week, and it's a good way for our teachers and principals to communicate with the community. So I think it's well worth the money.
Okay, so we need a motion to renew the Sentinel subscription for the 2022-2023 school year at a cost of $19 per subscription.
So moved.
Motion made by Lori Campbell, is there a second?
Second.
Jessica Browning, call roll please.
Campbell, yes. Burrow.
Yes?
Wood? Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
And then typically we would do our newsletter at this time of year. Just wanted to add this in at the tail end, kind of go over some of the new hires, introduce them to the community. It goes out to as many people as we could possibly get, a mail or two. There was, Martha always starts that procedure. There was a little bit of lag time getting IASB to respond to her because they usually design and put it out for us. Found out it could be done, but then the week we needed to go out was next week, and there's no Sentinel paper next week, and that's how we've been sending them out, is the Sentinel folds them up and sends them out. So I think it's been decided they're gonna just hit, social media, the Facebook pages, the websites, that kind of thing, and try to put that out this year, and maybe do one a little bit later in the year with, some additional information in it, as we normally would. So, just an update on that, and then, do you have anything, anybody have anything before we?
No, we've tried to do a meet the new staff,
Mhm.
and it never seems to work out for whatever reason. I think the August 17th meeting is probably, starting off the school year, probably a difficult time to try to do that. Do you want me to see if we can get them to the September board meeting?
Yeah, I would like that. I think it's good, especially for those of us that aren't going to normally see them on a regular basis, put a name with the face and that kind of thing.
You guys go through those names so fast, and I have no idea who any of them are.
Yeah, we like to see that, so if they could all, I'm not opposed to a little gathering or something too, if that works out better, or something that we do a little bit earlier before the meeting, that they can stay after work and then go home, or make a special meeting where we come a little bit earlier. So, whatever works out, but
Okay.
willing
I'll talk to
to,
the principals and see.
yeah,
Right now, we'll try to schedule for the September
September.
meeting unless something else.
and that's a
seems to
late,
be better.
it's a late.
It is
meeting.
not later because the August board meeting is as early as it possibly can be, and the
Okay.
September one's almost
So
as
there's
late.
enough
as the-
time.
yeah,
Okay.
There's the 30-day, but we will be doing a budget again next, 23 budget.
Okay, so then our,
We go over one-
is the first day of school August 17th for the students?
Mhm.
Okay.
That's
So our,
our early out day, so.
11, yeah. So next regular meeting is scheduled for August 17th at 6 p.m. and all of our principals should be back in attendance by then and ready to roll. Okay, so I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion made by Matt Wood, is there a second?
Okay.
By Jessica Browning, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 4-0.